Yes, hello, my people. Good morning, good afternoon, good evening to you all. And we're back here again. Right, my good people. How you guys doing? Happy Sunday to you all. The Sunday, the weekend is almost gone now. So I guess a lot of people who works Monday to Friday are actually already preparing for their work from tomorrow morning. How you guys doing? How you guys doing? We're going to talk about the trending situation that's currently going on social media on the Apostle Suleiman and this Nollywood girl actress who came out after some years. See, Apostle Suleiman sleep with him. He pay him 500K and all that. So we have our brother, Mr. Stephen Ramato, who is going to actually go in depth with this and analyze it to us and tell us what we're supposed to expect, what we think, and how probably how everything happened. So, my people, I'd like you all to join us and listen to what our brother is going to say. Once again, good morning, good afternoon, good evening to every one of you. If you have a question, just leave it at the comment section. I'll respond to you as soon as possible. Thank you.
Like I said, I try to do as much as I can just to explain the condition and situation of things, around us to the best of my ability and knowledge. There's another very event that is trending. Sorry, guys, that is trending online right now that I just need to quickly, deal with, and that is the issue of Apostle Johnson Suleiman and this very particular girl, one Chioma, Ife Wanting, who happens to be a Nollywood actress, and she says she has baptized, and she had a guilty conscience over what she did with Suleiman in 2016, and so she's out to confess and clear her mind so that she can make heaven, that she baptized in Redeemed Christian Church of God, many braha that she put up on the social media space. And many bloggers have picked up that story because, in Nigeria today, many bloggers are so very keen or interested in seeing, people, not just men of God alone, people being dragged to the mud. It has become our norms in order for us to get views and make some dollars from YouTube and Facebook and every other social media that can be monetized. And so when they get a very interesting news like that of a person of Johnson Suleiman or any other minister of God for that matter, they are quick to jump on it and begin to express their displeasures over allegations that have been levied against these people. One thing that gets me bothered is this: if such an allegation is levied against a nobody in the society, this same group of people will be the first to defend them. Okay, they'll be the first to come out and say this cannot happen, these people can't do this, these people can't do that, blah 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 blah. And having listened to our story from the beginning to the ending, I am going to say with every out of doubt that our story was a cut and join. I am not going to dispute the fact or going to say she lied in her testament, but I am going to make some point to be clear for us to understand that there is something sinister about the so-called confession of that lady called Chioma. Number one, She said she just graduated in 2016, and someone called her and said she needs to meet a friend or a family friend who is traveling to United States of America that same night. And they had a hook up, and she met the man, and the man just walked past her, walked into the room, and at the end of the day, they did whatever they do, but he could not actually figure the face. Let me say clearly, guys, as at 2016, Apostle Professor Johnson Suleiman was already a figure known in Nigeria and outside Nigeria. He was no more a hidden figure as at 2016. He has already made so much wave. He actually came to Sweden in 2015. The first time. No, 2014 the first time. And came back again 2015 and came back again 2016. He was already a world-known figure as at 2016. In Nigeria then, Suleiman was already a name. Was already an household name because the prophetic ministry actually came into light in Edo State in particular and in Nigeria in general through Apostle John Suleiman. These prophetic utterances, and I'm not saying prophetic saying, I mean prophetic utterances where people are being called out, was actually came into reality. You know, those of us who grew under late Archbishop Bishop yeah, we get one or two words of knowledge, just like Papa Adeboye does, we just like Bishop Oyedipo does, and many others. But when it comes to the prophetic, prophetic declarations, it was actually Suleiman who actually, revived that very particular aspect of the ministry in Nigeria today. We can't take that from him. So as at 2016, he was already doing exploit all around the world. So if you say you do not know who Johnson Suleiman was as of 2015, 2016, when you had a hook up, it is questionable. That's the first point that I picked from a confession. Number two, she said Johnson Suleiman dropped his number and gave it to her, asking her not to inform her friend about the very, very particular event that I also see as some lies. I'm going to explain why. Now, when you had an encounter with this man, he gave his number. No matter a man that is very popular, both in the social media and off the social media, you cannot stay with such a man for 20 minutes as she claimed to be, without you naturally knowing, putting your mind and your finger on who this man actually is. Now, the man went ahead and gave you his number. Yet, you could not put one-on-one together as of 2016 on your first hookup. And you said in your own confession that later that day or so, you now knew, you saw that he was having a program somewhere in the US, and you now saw a program that they put up on social media. You said, oh, this is the man that I just slept with. You asked your friend said, that's not true. You had his number. You said you now gave him a call, to help you do one. The first time can be a mistake, man. But the second time was an intentional thing. That means you are a well-known prostitute. That's number one. Number one. Number two, if you felt that the man you slept with was promiscuous, the man you slept with was not supposed to do what he did at the first time, which was a mistake by you, but the second time was an intentional act, which even in heaven also is a sin. Okay? Now you slept with him the second time, you guys did not meet again, and you didn't bother to call him. The whole thing went off. You jump into maybe another bigger pastor that pay bigger. Maybe you jump into another politicians that pay bigger than Johnson Suleiman, according to your confession right now. Now, you woke up one morning having been baptized, because today, the day of your baptism was not the day you gave your life to Jesus. I'm not sure, lady. So you gave your life to Jesus, and you decided to make a confession, not to your pastor, not to God in prayers, but you decided to go to the God of Facebook and a Facebook congregation to make your confession. And you know what your confession is? It is called scandal. Scandal. You didn't confess, but you decided to destroy the kingdom business, which you have already claimed to have embraced of late. You can't say you embraced the new religion called Christianity. You got baptized in ROCCG, and the next thing you could do as still a baby Christian that you are is to study your Bible very well and actually speak to superior leaders within the church cycle to not tell you what to do and how to go about what we call restitution. Now, restitution is not confession to destroy others. Restitution is doing everything humanly possible to make yourself at peace with your God. You only talked about the part that you slept with him, which we all know is a lie, but you did not restitute the 500,000 he gave to you in 2016, which is worth more than 5 million naira in 2021. So when you are restituting, lady, whatsoever you bought with that very particular money, whatsoever you spend that money on, must be reversed back, and the money must be returned to the owner. That is the beginning of heavenly restitution. Now, when you said your heart were, pricking you for all you've done, I want to ask a question. Before this lady that hooked you up, actually hooked you up with this man, which I'm very sure it's not just Suleiman anyways, and hooked you up with this very man, you claim to be Apostle Johnson Suleiman. What trade of business were you into? Because the line of business that you were into was advanced prostitution, the one they call Ross Girls. You just finished the university. It means this lady knew you to be a Ross girl while you were in school. And let me make it a little bit very clear to us here. Guys, any Ross girl don't sleep with young boys. They actually go for older men, either married, politicians, big men of God, as they claim, well-to-do men in the society. And they are being paid to do the job. So that's why they call it hook up. So they are just male prostitutes. Because of their educational background, they turn prostitution into runs. So that was who Chioma was and still is. Now, guys, she went further to say that now that she had not given her life to Jesus, she needs to confess. Beautiful. Acceptable. When you are confessing, you must confess from the Genesis. When did you got disvirgined? Who disvirgined you? How many men are you slept with before your encounter with this so-called Suleiman? And how many men have you slept with to climb the ladder of your career as a Nollywood actress? We all know what happens in Nollywood. Okay? I'm a Nollywood producer also. So we all know what happens within the Nollywood cycle. How many men have you slept with outside your industry? How many hookups have you made while you were in the university? How many hookups have you made while you were outside the university? How many of these great celebrities have you actually slept with before the so-called Johnson Suleiman and after the so-called Johnson Suleiman? If you can be able to give all these details clearly, just the way you were able to give the details of how you met this guy, you claim to be Johnson Suleiman, you give the date, the time, the position, the way he walked, the way he did what he did. Everything was so smooth in your mouth. You should be able to actually explain every man you slept with. It must be in your memory, lady. So if you just have to pick one out of over 1,000, then some of us will start questioning the sincerity behind your so-called confession. Okay? I'm not holding brief for Apostle John Suleiman, guys. Get it clearly. I'm not holding brief for him, but I believe strongly that something was wrong here. Because they just know one thing. The people know one thing. The only way you can actually hold a man of God down so well is immorality, underlined. Adultery, underlined. That's the only thing that trends when a man of God is involved. Okay? And nobody actually wants to actually talk about the people that are involved in this act against this man. We are only concerned about the man who fell. Even if there was anything like that, guys. We are not concerned about the people that are involved in this. These men are not gods. And many of you today who are criticizing these guys, destroying them on social media, you have many times said these men aren't God. You guys have said that. That these men aren't God. They are mad. They are human. But the moment you get a scandalous, story on the line against these same people, you who once called them human beings will now start defining them to be mini gods. And when their people, their followers, their congregation decide to see them as a mini god, you get offended. You get so irritated over why should they claim these big men to be God. But the moment you get a thing that is not clear, that looks a little bit shabby around them, you come up to say, this man ought not to have done this. I want to ask a very simple question, guys. What is the difference between Johnson Suleiman and myself? What is the difference between John Suleiman and every man on the street of Nigeria? What is the difference between John Suleiman and every man on the street of this world that we live in, guys? There's no difference. The only difference here is control, or you will not be caught yet, if there is anything like that. So if you know these guys are men, they are not gods, therefore mistake is inevitable. It is imminent. It is a thing that will have to come one day. And my question is this: why is it that the issue of Johnson Suleiman has become a resounding decimal? I remember middle last year or late last year, there was this one of our pastors also, brother Joshua Igile, divorced his wife, married a new wife. It never trended. It never trended. It never trended, guys. It never trended. Nobody talked about it. I remembered Chris Okotie had divorced his wife for 4 consecutive times and married a new one. It never trends. Nobody talks about it. There are many different kinds of things happening around us that never takes the headline of any newspaper. But the moment the name Johnson Suleiman is mentioned, everybody sprang into action. They act and they react without not sitting down to actually get a deep knowledge, a deep understanding of what was actually happening. If it was a framed up to destroy his character, to destroy his ministry, or this is just the handiwork of the devil. The most callous part of it is even the Christendom are the ones that are fighting him more than even the unbelievers. I might not subscribe to everything that he does. Okay? Yeah, that's who I am. I might not subscribe to every of the dictates that he actually does. But the truth of the matter is this: when one man becomes the center point of every attack, such a man should be looked at carefully. I am from Church of God Mission, but with the late Archbishop Bessie Darosa. I know what Suleiman is going through today. That's how I went through it in the late 70s and early 80s in Benin. Okay, yes. I know that. I know there are many issues that came up just then because there was no social media. It was not being broadcast, the way it is today. To the point people lied against the late Archbishop Bessie Darosa. They lied against him. People came up to say he normally goes to my father's shrine to get power. They made a lot of allegations to him. Even people said he was sleeping with people. He was wives. He was snatching people's girlfriend. A lot of things were said about the late Archbishop in his time. I think what Suleiman is experiencing today is just an iceberg. An iceberg. A little thing compared to what the late Archbishop Bessie Darosa went through. One thing I want to say here clearly is this: I want to thank God for the wives that God gave to these 2 great sons of Edo. Okay, our mother in Israel, the woman general, Archbishop Margaret, Echo Darosa, and Lizzie Johnson Suleiman of Apostle John Suleiman. God gave them the wives to actually understand what the calling of their husbands are. Just the way Mama is keeping quiet today, that's the way my mother in Israel, Archbishop Blessing Dowsa kept quiet all through the time that the husband was going through, these old pains. But after the death of the husband today, people now sing the praises. 20-something years after his departure, his name had refused to leave the test of time. Okay, guys? Now, when Prophet Timothy Joshua was alive, people criticized him. The same group of people criticized him, said a lot about him. But since Prophet Timothy Joshua died, just few weeks now, he has become a saint overnight. People now use him as a reference point. That is who humans are. They will always find a way to demonize who you are, particularly when you are making an impact in your generation. And we, the Edos, we are quick. We are very, very quick to destroy our own. We are the first to raise the banner of destruction against our own. And my advice to John Suleiman is this, sir. Do not, for whatsoever reason, reply this lady. Don't do it. Don't go after her. It is inconsequential. Don't send legal team against her. It doesn't really matter at all. You should be happy that you are getting a free publicity. It is very expensive. Nobody carries your video. Nobody carries your video, sir. Except you and few of us. But do you know, between yesterday and today, or day before that this whole thing came up, over 100 social media presenters have deliberated on your matter. Over 1,000 YouTubers have carried that lady's video. There are many people who have not heard of you outside Nigeria and other parts of the world are beginning to hear of you because your picture is always attached to it. This is a free publicity that you need to be very happy over. Don't get irritated. Don't get offended. Don't get worried about it. It is just part of the ministry work. Your spiritual father, the late Archbishop Blessing Dowsa, went through more than what you're going through today. Yeah, he went through it. You are a young guy. You are a young man. So definitely these ladies will come after you. Even when they are the ones that is trying to seduce you, they will claim victims. You are bold to speak where others aren't speaking of your age grade. So therefore they will come after you. They know very well money is no more what they can use to hold the church down or to minister down. Because, oh, the man stole your money, we don't care anymore. So now, the only thing that they feel is sellable is when they come up with the idea of he slept with. It is not sleep with. And the moment you have the ability to start working, which Christians start working on that slept with, didn't sleep with, you're going to see a lot of things will start working the way they ought to be. I can promise you guys. The moment we understand that these men are men, And if you serve God, there is a possibility that there will be an attack coming in from the kingdom of darkness. No two ways about that. And most of these people talking today, I've asked a guy today, I said, come guy, can you swear that you've not slept with another woman apart from your wife? He said, I'm not a pastor. So I said, so because you're not a pastor, you don't have moral burden anymore. My question is this, I asked him, what is the difference between a pastor and a Christian? The first step to be a pastor is you must first be a Christian. And the moral burden that is on a pastor is the same moral burden that is on every Christian, except you are just a church goer or a bench woman. If you define yourself not to be a pastor, because of that you can commit all the atrocities in the world, but you are quick to judge one who is doing everything to try as much as possible to be morally correct, then you are not what you claim you are. You are not a Christian yet. You just go to church. So if you see the scenery of a man who is your head as the problem, but you do the same thing, it's nothing to worry about, then you need to go actually sit down and check yourself up. That is the truth, guys. The guest stories did not add up. A lot of the joints are not working. And I am going to say categorically clear, it was a stage managed, not well stage managed anyway, attack on the person of Apostle Professor John C. Suleiman. I'm not an Omega guy, but I always stand, you all know me, I stand for the truth. I check, I watch before I speak. Okay? Suleiman is a man before being a Christian, before being a pastor. Yes, every pastor has a moral burden to bear. Okay? That's the truth. Based on the standard they've created for us, or the dimension of the religion that we practice have created for us. Okay? That notwithstanding, the man there should be underlined at every point in time. So if a man comes to you and speak the truth to you, the man can also fall short of the truth. In this world, even the Bible said there is no perfect man. Say, for all have sinned and fall short of the glory of God. Say, for the righteousness of a man is like a filthy rag before God. Okay? So by his grace, we are saved. You say, not by works, but by grace, we are saved. So when you are a child of God, you feel you are quick to say things, guys, better sit down. Jesus said, when they came to the woman, said, if you know you've not sinned, said, be the first to cast a stone. Said, if you know you've not committed any sin, be the first to cast a stone. The Bible said, and all dropped their stones and they left. And Jesus rose up and saw the woman and said, where are the accusers? Said, they've gone. Says, since they've gone, I forgive you too. Say, but go and sin no more. That is what the church is all about. Not destroying, killing the wounded soldiers. Not stigmatizing, demonizing, dehumanizing a wounded soldier that is at the front of the battle. This is a general in God's army, whether you like it or not, guys. That is why you see me all through the time of Prophet TV Joshua, never for once criticizing. I may not like his actions, his ways, and never does. I never for once criticize Brother Joshua Igile. I'm not like some of his actions, but I never does. Even senior prophet Jeremiah, Jeremiah, I've never for once thought to criticize them. I may not like their ways. But do you know why I don't criticize them? Because these are generals. Apostle Paul also said, he said it doesn't matter how the gospel is being preached. He said, what matter is this? The gospel is preached. It doesn't matter. But what matter is the gospel is being preached. My major concern is they preach the gospel. Many in the congregation will make heaven by the message that comes from the pulpit of this man. That's my interest. We are bound to make mistakes because we are humans. Apostle Peter was with Jesus. A day he said, you are the Son of God. Jesus said, nobody have told you this except my Father who is in heaven. Few days after that day, himself and Jesus had a great conversation. He said, I will not allow you to die. It's not possible. You are not dying. Jesus said, get behind me, Satan. The same guy who the Holy Spirit revealed to the identity of Jesus. The same guy was being called Satan by the same man. So, devil can do anything at every point in time. We as the church of God, we must actually understand how the work of the ministry actually works. Let us stop destroying our own. It's too quick. It is too quick. It is too quick for the Edo people. Too quick, guys. Too quick. If you go to social media today, 80% of people who are castigating Suleiman today are from Edo State. They're either Asians, the Benin, or the Afema people where Suleiman came from. It is too much for us, guys. We love bringing our own down. We want to destroy our own at all costs. We take delight in seeing our own people suffer. It's too much, guys. Let's calm down a little bit. Make we calm down. Otobo came. We all took it up. Otobo came to apologize later. People say it was an original apologize. Why will Otobo be afraid? You live in Canada. She lives in Canada. Why will she be afraid to fly from Canada to Omega Fire Ministry headquarters and come and confess? Why? After you said all you said? Come on, guys. She knew today she has become a complete shadow of herself. The whole money that was given to her is already gone. Let us see things from the perspective that it is, guys. Why did this same girl, Chioma, why did she not speak during the time when it was hot? When the Tobo case was all over the social media? Why did she not speak up? She kept quiet. What was the idea about her keeping quiet then? The people just wake up, take their phone and begin to castigate people. And if, for whatsoever reason today, Suleiman refused to heed to my advice and started to take, legal actions against her, somebody is going to get up and said, he said he was a pastor. Now, why is he not trying to oppress the lady? But have you actually heard what we call defamation of character? Guys, have you actually heard what we call defamation of character? This man's character has just been destroyed because he has become a public figure. But every Dick and Harry. And because of this present day social media, wherever, people just take delight in picking up things, against the men of God and see it as a way to actually show that they've arrived. Come on, guys. How many of you can do this to an imam? Many of you bloggers today. How many of you can try this to an imam and survive it for a night? How many of you can dare do this to an imam? There are a lot of atrocities happening in the mosque. How many of you can dare? I dare you guys to pick on an imam in Nigeria and see if you will see the next day. Because Christianity is so peaceful, so loving, so accommodating. We want to take advantage of this whole thing and want to use it against the people. How many of you can dare do this? I dare you to pick on an imam, just like the way you are picking on men of God. You people picked on TB Joshua until he died. Go to YouTube. There are over 5,000, YouTube videos from different corners of the world of Nigeria on TB Joshua. Today, the same group of people are the ones celebrating him. Now, the next man is Johnson Suleiman. You picked on the house until he died. If not that Papa Deboye had the thick skin, or you had thick skin, today these guys would have also been lamenting. And I want to thank God for Omega Fire Ministry members. You guys have done well, guys. Standing by what you believe. This is one thing I've been saying about Christianity. We don't give a hoot about what people say. Daniel chapter 11:32 says, for they that know their God, you must know your God. That ends it. Man should not explain your God to you. Man should not tell you who your father is. You know your father. You understand who he is. So, man's definition of who your dad is should not change the perspective that you know about who your dad is. Well, I want to thank you guys. I really appreciate you guys. You are growing stronger despite all the attacks that is coming in to Apostle John Suleiman. I want to say a very big thank you to you guys. This is what the Christianity is all about. This is what we must stand for. If you have a side chick outside your wife and you are criticizing Apostle Suleiman, you are an hypocrite. I repeat again. If you have a side chick outside your wife and you're one of those who pick, the mic of criticisms and deformation of character against this man, you are an hypocrite. You are a hypocritical guy. And if you are a lady who got hooked up with men of God, who get hooked up with anybody, any married man that is not your husband, and you decided to come out because the man is a celebrity, to scandalize the person, you are worse than a Jezebel. If not because of this morality had been flown to the wind. People like this Chioma will never get a husband. If it was in our time, while we were growing up, you will never, ever get a husband. For you to say you were hooked up with a man alone will make you to remain single all your life. Thank God you're an Igbo girl. They know what it is anyways. Because of this stupid feminism, and unnecessary celebrity has destroyed the moral and the fabric of our society today, that many of you today don't actually give a hoot about morality anymore. You will never get a husband. You came out to say you are a prostitute. It didn't take 20 minutes. The man spread you on his bed, and you had the guts to even say that. There was no communication. You be ashebo now. Ashebo kobo. That is just not even, you were not a runs girl. At least we went to school now. We understood how the runs girl actually does their job. They talk with their client. They don't just come in and start doing trash. They talk. But yours was just like 20 minutes. It means you walked into the room without not saying hi to the guy, without not talking, no drinking of wine, nothing whatsoever. You just go in, mess up yourself, and you get paid. And you see how the guts to come out and say all these to the public, all in an attempt to destroy an innocent man. God will help us. God will help the Christians in Nigeria. The Christians. Because most of the people we have it today is a denominational war. They fight for money and fame. It's making many men of God to actually cook and hook up stories like this just to bring the other down in order for them to get members. We all know of what happened to Koza Church. We all know of what happened to Koza Church. The lady said, and now I'm now. What are you guys talking about? What are you talking about? Anybody that, then I also came out and I defended Koza. People might say, now all of them are one. It doesn't matter for me. It doesn't really matter. I have a reason of defending them. I don't defend it because whether they did it or not. The time is what matters. You slept with thousands of people. Why pick out one? Is it only that one that will make you not to make heaven? The one you picked out. Is it that one that will make you not to make heaven? Guys, I beg, I'm going to beg now. If you're a Christian, we should start fighting for our faith. We must always defend. We should not be quick to destroy that which we own. And for people say, yeah, why should you cover up sin? Somebody says, I sin, that doesn't mean I'm a sinner. Okay? Somebody said I sin doesn't make me a sinner. Does it? No. Does it make me a sinner? It's just his own perspective of what he thinks. Does it make me a sinner? Not for a bit. What they say about me doesn't make me what they say I am. Nobody knows me except me. So when you hear stories about a man that you have so much regard for, you must take out your time to listen. not jumping into destroying. How many of these people can say this to a Babalawo today? There are many of these fake pastors who actually sleeps with them, who mess them up. Many of these Babalawo in suits, in altars, who mess them up, and it in the name of deliverance. How many of these people can dare come out to say it? They're scared of these people because they know these people are diabolical. They will take their life in a jiffy. They are quick to talk about these guys who are genuine because they know they don't have the heart to hurt people. They're quick to jump on them, knowing fully well anything they do, they will have to take it as a way of destroying them as a people. That's what they do, guys. Many people have talked about a Shurubi and Sharafin pastor who sleep with them. Let them try now. They can't do that. Or one native daughter somewhere that messed them up at every given point in time. They can't dare it. They can't dare it. Or you talk about an imam like this and live to see the other day. You can't dare that. By now, our head will be on a stick somewhere in town. We must tell ourselves the truth, guys. But it's easy to do that to the church because the church, these men are actually men of God who has passion for the kingdom business. And the devil takes advantage of it. And some of us who are gullible Christians, jump into this and start acting up against these same people that we're supposed to protect as our leaders. Sometimes when I look at the guest who normally comes out to what is it called? Accuse Suleiman. I look at Suleiman as a man, and these girls, they are not even compatible. And I look at Lizzie, and these girls, they are not even near compatibility. And I look at some of Suleiman aides who are ladies, they're not even compatible. So I begin to wonder sometimes, why are people not thinking the way I'm thinking? Is it because I'm just a different being among these people, or just enviness that is one of the characteristics of a black man that's making us want to see the truth, or we see the truth, we just have to take our eyes away from the truth? This man get members all over the world. The truth is this, guys, apart from Christianity, there are 1,001 members of Apostle Suleiman that were ready to sleep with Apostle Suleiman free of charge, without nobody hearing of it. So I don't think it needs hook up. I'm not sure. This hook up thing just needs to go. It's not working. I promise you guys, it's not working. There are 1,001 of his members all over the world that will be willing to do what this guy said he paid $500,000 for. I can promise you guys. In the city we are living in Sweden we are living in, many of these people respect him as a god. You will not understand when a lady begin to see somebody beyond the ordinary. Anything he requests will be granted, guys. Some of these guys are not born again at all. So to them, it will be a thing of the pride. So when we are picking up, we are trying to believe stories, we must actually check the, authenticity of that very particular story that people are trying to spread against some persons. Because tomorrow might be your turn, nobody knows. A few years back, nobody knows Suleiman. Nobody knows him. He wasn't existing. He actually started ministry in 1994, a few years back. Nobody knew him. Today, he's a public figure. A few years ago, nobody knows Obaseki. Today, he's a public figure. So, it can be your turn tomorrow, guy. So, when you're supporting what is evil, think of yourself. If you fall into that shoe tomorrow, how will you feel when you are being painted with a paint that you are actually not yours? A name that's not yours is being put on you by people who just want to destroy you at all cost. Like I said, there are some things he does that I'm not also cool with. But that is doctrinal issues, which I can change. Okay? Like one day I was telling somebody, I said, the issue we have today in the Christendom is doctrine. Is doctrine. Doctrine issues. So which that I can't actually talk on. There are many doctrines that I don't believe in that is happening today within the world. Okay? Everybody comes up with their own doctrine just to get their own, to cover their own area of ministry. That's acceptable. But apart from that, I don't think Suleiman has actually done anything wrong to us as a people. If you are an Edo man, let's support him. It's our own. Let's protect our own. If even there are stories that is being said concerning him, let's go deep and find out if the story is true. Let us not jump to conclusion. Anybody can say anything. We're in a world where people are so much conscious of money that they can do anything just to remain relevant. That guy went into extinction once. So he wants to go back to relevancy. And he needs people like John Suleiman to fly back. He didn't talk about how he was sleeping with the politicians in Asaba. She didn't talk about that. She didn't talk about how she was sleeping with producers and directors. She didn't talk about that. She talked about how she played majority of the roles she played in a movie, but I have to get down with the people. She didn't talk about that. But she only go to pick one guy who met her once or twice according to her, and the man have moved on. Guys, I beg. Make her leave and make her go rest, I beg. No, sir. They try to recover from my health issues. Thank you, guys. Please just share this video. Let them see it. Humanist TV is back again to analyze things the way they are. God bless you guys. Have a very, very nice and pleasant day.
All right. Thank you, my people, for watching that. Please don't forget to share and give some like to this video. Thank you for your continuous encouragement. We'll be coming back soon. I appreciate everything that you guys are doing for us. Take care, and I'll see you soon.